And we're live at the Will Studios once again. Cleaned up some of the trash behind me, so I'll actually not delete this one probably. Oh man, it has been a wild couple of months. I had a third child, and I just didn't feel like streaming during that time. I got obsessed with pizza, and I'm trying to get my swing back art wise. I'm gonna redo this cover and show you. It's kind of like it was coming together. I kind of liked it. I got the logo saved somewhere, the new logo. But what did I not like about this one? His pants seem too tight around the thigh area. Anyway, I'm going to stream. I got 2 monitors now, so if my chat is screaming at me, we'll stream more. Oh, see? Now I can see my chat off to the side here. I just gotta move these bottles and shit. But yeah, gotta get back on Release, because for a minute there I was like, I should open a pizza place, because I've been going bananas with this pizza, and this pizza is spectacular. I'm gonna get a pizza oven. I might do like a catering gig here and there with this pizza. I can't fight my obsessions. But I need to channel it back toward saving the American comic book industry with my superior ideas. I need to get back on schedule for Release. So I was kind of drawing over my old drawing, just deciding what I didn't like about it, because I had let me pull up what she looked like before. She was looking like this, which I don't hate, but she was like too average looking. She didn't look hot enough. I'm like, I could make her much hotter. And I also wanted to make the image bigger. So I was fixing her up. But honestly, going back, I'm like, do I even want to do anything to him? Except fix his hand? I was listening to, let's unpause Trashcast. And I haven't been watching too much of this shit lately because I've had babies on me. I've been getting very little sleep, been working, been neglecting my comic book and perfecting a excellent pizza dough recipe. I could sit here and talk about pizza. I'm gonna get a pizza channel going, because I'm thinking I'll get 10,000 subscribers much faster making and talking about pizza making than I will creating this comic book. Until the comic book really takes off, until people read it and understand that my ideas are amazing, maybe I can't listen to him while I'm talking. It's impossible. Anyway, let's get back to business. But what's been new, man? Freaking Superman's gonna be terrible, I guess. Yeah. Everyone needs to eat. Not everyone can read. Not everyone can appreciate the process of creating a comic book. But let me tell you something, dude. When they hear the crunch of the crust that you're creating, and you tell them, you're like, look, I grew this from 1,000-year-old sourdough starter that I got from Italy. I initially had a lot of hope for Superman from the trailer. I'm like, you know what? Maybe it'll be cool. But the more I see of the what they're doing to promote the movie, I'm hoping the second trailer comes out and restores my initial hype, because right now I have no hype for it at all. I feel like they're going to make Guardians of the DC Universe, and it's going to be very, like, low stakes action. But at first, I saw what they were doing with introducing certain Justice League International elements, you know what I mean? With Guy Gardner and Hawkgirl. And, yeah. I really wish directors could shift gears occasionally, but they stick to formula. I think he's one of those guys that's just gonna, like, kind of stick to formula on this one. You're like, let's invite my Hollywood friends to come do little bit parts. Like, let's treat Guy Gardner like kind of a bit part. Green Lantern's kind of like a running joke. Anyway, he probably, you know, who knows? Who knows how much Green Lantern he's read? The new Green Lantern series. I need to watch it because just to honor, like, because High School Will dreamed of having a live action Green Lantern series. Yeah, reserving judgment. Creature Commandos. I only watched the first episode, and I just haven't gone back to it. I ended up I've been watching Batman because it's like my daughter Coletta's 9 years old, and she loves Batman. Just, you know, Batman will live forever because he's just so aesthetically, like, perfect. There's always going to be love for Batman. But we watched Batman Begins. We watched The Dark Knight. She still hasn't seen Dark Knight Rises. But I was turning on the Batman from, like, the mid-2000s, which I never really watched, but is actually pretty good. If you want, like, a Jackie Chan Adventures meets Batman sort of thing. And then she's got me playing Arkham Knight. Or Arkham, what's the more recent one? She got Santa. Santa purchased her a fucking Nintendo Switch. Yeah, Nintendo Switch. And, like, all three of the Arkham games were, like, $20 or something, $30. I'm like, alright. Or like $15 even. And that, oh man. Like, I loved Arkham Asylum. I loved Arkham City. I had never played really. I played a little bit of Arkham Knight, but I freaking that Batmobile, that Bat Tank, just threw me off completely. And going back to it, like I'm a grown man. Video games are typically very easy for me. I wreck people in Mario Kart, but Jesus Christ, I'm destroying half of Gotham in this goddamn Bat Tank. And then we watch Batman Begins, and yeah, even Bruce Wayne is like destroying half of Gotham in the goddamn... Like, what are we doing? Militarizing our superheroes. But I'm getting used to it. I actually got a little ways into the game this time instead of just giving up and doing something else like I did last time. I'm gonna find out who the Arkham Knight is, even though I know exactly who the Arkham Knight is. Dude, Cyberpunk is one of those that, when it initially came out, I heard bad things about it, but I guess with mods and updates or whatever, it got good. And I kind of like the aesthetic of it a little bit. And, there's a little bit of that in Release, because Release takes place like 30 years in the future or whatever. I think Cyberpunk 2077, so it's a little further into the future. And I've seen, like, they got the collar technology, which I like, but that means I can't use it. I can't put collar technology like that in Release. Freaking, I randomly re-downloaded Skyrim VR and started modding that, which is just a complete waste of time. But it's fun. Is there a VR mod for Cyberpunk? I bet there is. I know there was a VR mod for Red Dead Redemption, and I lost 2 months in the Old West. And I'd never played Red Dead Redemption, really, for more than like 5 minutes at your house. And fucking... So I kind of generally remembered the Rockstar controls. But I disabled the HUD and everything, and I had no idea how to do bullet time or any of that shit. So I was like in the Old West, and because I'm VR, I have to move my head and look down the barrel to shoot people. It got hairy. It was very intense. But I got like most of the way through the fucking stories. Brain dances. Well, that's like the story version of what VR is in that game. Brain dances. Interesting. In Release, it's just all augmented reality, because it's like 30 years in the future. I feel like we can bounce light off of our surroundings and create holograms in front of ourselves and around ourselves. And so we're like, we're pulling up windows here and there and just constantly interacting all the time. And it's constantly like watching everything we're doing. The AI is harvesting us for content. Yeah, the Star Trek Can you imagine, like, in the Star Trek universe, it's like the holodeck, the holodeck recordings have been leaked. What? Not my holodeck recordings. A man's holodeck recordings are sacred. Yeah. Well, it's like, obviously. I kind of like the first way better. Yeah, that was fun, but I was just getting my rhythm back. I'll keep his hand like that. I do not like his pants. Whatever. Oh no! I forgot I had other stuff on that layer. Sup, Genuine Comics? What is going on? Matt, Genuine Comics is actually producing comics and has produced comics. Perfect 10 is on issue 5. Highly rated if you're looking for something new to read. I am drawing. I'm drawing over the second cover that I was doing for release, my own comic book here, and I was not super happy with the way Jessica looked here in the first iteration. And it's fun, you know. I just had a third kid. I've been on a pizza thing for the past month and a half, so I'm kind of getting back into the swing of things. So I'm just drawing over what I was doing. I just got done drawing over Hayden here, and then throwing out what I was doing with him because I didn't like it more than I liked my original sort of thing. Anyway, I'm coming back here down here to Jessica, and I'm making her, because she was looking a little bit too far this way. I want her looking more towards Hayden. And I wanted to draw the lines a little bit thicker, because I'm still sort of getting a handle on, you know, what people are going to see. You know, I don't want to waste too much time with too much detail, but I kind of love detail. I got to rein myself in a little bit. I got to prevent myself from getting like too excited when I got people watching me, because I love it. Any little bit of traction. Yeah, it's a superhero comic. It's about, you know, the planned sort of end of the world and how Hayden is gonna stop it. It really explores a lot of themes about AI and the relationship between technology and humanity. I'd love to like give spoilers, but I'll hold back for now. But Hayden's gonna find out in the first issue that that humanity's lease on existence on this planet is coming up. And he's gonna have to evolve to stop it, because he is kind of the only person who can. Thanks to George, who is a robot terrorist, basically. Who attaches himself to Hayden. This is where I'm looking at my underdrawings and I'm like, okay, what did I like about it? What did I not like about it? That last face that I drew, she was kind of like potato faced a little bit. I gotta remind myself that Jessica is... She's an adult, but she's cute, you know what I mean? She's like mid-20s, 25. Zooming all the way in on her face might be doing more harm than good here. I'm going to put a little more faith in my underdrawing than I did that last pass. Give her like a heavy shadow under the nose, though. No. I'm very excited about my pizza channel. Feel like if I could just cruise. Sometimes to me, like, drawing is like driving, and I'm trying to drive down this hill without making her look like Hilary Swank. That's really for me. If I could pull that shit off, okay, people will look at it and say, wow, she looks great. And that's gonna do good things for me. You know, her look does not translate well to comic books. I'll put it that way. Some artists have like, ooh, hey, that's not bad. See? Just got to erase a little bit of that outer line a little bit. Ah, make my eraser smaller. I gotta be okay with giving ladies chins, you know? There's part of me that'll sit there and like grind. I will like grind the line down on her face until she starts to look like an anime character. But those are cats. You know what I mean? If you're drawing anime, you're essentially drawing cat people. And that's not what I have here. Not my vibe, not the vibe I'm going for. I feel like I need to embrace my American roots. I saw this, one of the random Twitter X things that I freaking... Somebody was talking about anime. It was John Mallon. I forget what was said exactly. But I was just like, dude, if you're American, be American. It's a comic book. But maybe I need to, like, rethink, like, you know. People just love the They want to be part of that culture more than they want to be part of American comic book culture. And it's a shame. Ugh. It's gonna look terrible if I start doing that. I think I finally kind of like her outfit. And that's been a struggle throughout this entire ordeal. From the moment I got the idea in my head where it's like, I want to make a comic book, trying to design outfits, like, if I had pushed this comic book out right away, everyone would be wearing t-shirts and cargo shorts everywhere. But I wanted her to have, like, you know, sort of a Pokemon trainer, casual look about her a little bit, you know? Not, like, super slutty or anything, but, like, maybe a little bit. Something fun. Yeah, manga, you know, for me, I love One Piece. It kind of makes me feel like a kid again. And that's one that I'm still reading. And then Berserk is incredible, you know. There's I don't want to get into unfinished, you know, cuz some manga are incredible, but then they have no ending. And I'm like, I want to have an ending for my story. Like, that was very important to me from the outset when I was writing Release, is I want it to have a meaningful, impactful finale. And everything that happens before the finale should be hype for the finale. How are these warriors going to find themselves on the final battlefield, and how is it going to look different than the first issue? I can't be afraid of blacks. That's something like, man, I envy people that can just, like, draw thin lines and make it look good. Yeah, I'm like, I need to embrace thicker shadows, because that's like something that my artwork typically lacks. But I kind of need it. And I love European comic books too, like Mobius. I got into him for a minute, and that's a great example of, like, thin, elegant line work, you know, but very expressive. I lent someone one of those books, and he hasn't given it back to me. For possible. Well, that's where you pirate it. Genuine. And I know maybe morally you're against that, but that's one thing with manga, is 90% of the readers are reading it illegally because it's so easy to do. One thing is, okay, the Shonen Jump app is only $2 a month. So if you want to get into something like One Piece or one of those things, and we need something like Shonen Jump for America. We need some, like a structure with a strong editorial apparatus so we can sort of cultivate the strongest newcomers with the best new ideas, you know what I mean? Because, like, that's where Japan is really excelling. And, you know, when people are like, oh man, why is manga so much more popular? It's like new IPs every 5 years is why they're so popular, with new worlds people can get lost in, you know? I would love to have enough success to put together, like, a magazine that could be, like, mass distributed. And then people, I mean, shoot, like, something like Perfect 10 could be on issue 15 by the time I actually get my act together to get to that point. But then it's like, okay, let's put the first 30 pages of Perfect 10, or, you know, any of these other, like, stronger good, well made independent comic books. Let's put it in one big cheap like newsprint thing that people can buy. And okay, I'm gonna buy this thing that has like 15 different stories in it and get hooked on one or two. Because that's how they kind of do it over there, where it's like, okay, I talk about Berserk, because it's like legendary, but it started as, one of many stories in Young Animal number whatever, and it caught on, and then it's like the first issue was like a proof of concept, and then it like steamrolled. Or snowballed. But like, I love One Piece, but like, what if Oda didn't have an editor? Anyway, that's a whole other... I'd love to have like a conversation with a person like live on that sort of thing someday. We'll see. Step 1 is coming out with first issue of Release. Because otherwise, nobody should pay attention to me. I remember liking the simplicity of the design of these shoes when I first made them. I've gone to Global Comics twice. Maybe it was like the interface that I didn't get like a handle on. I kind of like it. Another thing is like Webtoons. Webtoons is a different format, right? But they get like 1 million views because it's mobile friendly. And that's another idea that I had, where it's like, okay, how do I get maximum readership? Maybe I should structure my pages to be mobile friendly. And that's why the first issue of Release is going to be a sort of mobile preview, proof of concept, that I can try to get as many people to read as possible. When it came to his pants... Hold on a second. Let me go back to this fucking layer. Freaking get rid of that. Release is the name of my comic book. And I made if you look through, I don't think I pinned it or anything. Or maybe I did. Maybe I pinned it to like my Instagram. But I need to get all my socials like connected. I came out with like a little mini preview comic of what I had accomplished so far leading up to Baltimore Comic-Con, because I was like forcing myself to go. And then I got some good feedback from John Mallon was nice enough to read through what I had made and was like, okay, I like this, but you need formatting help, you know what I mean? And I had admitted I had never lettered a thing until the night of, like, I'm getting a grip on lettering. If you're still watching, genuine, and you don't have another thing pulled up. So here's like the new first page so far. And I need to add more background. That's another thing that I need to work on, is I need more interesting backgrounds. But this robot blows himself up. And I like the second page. I like the way I did this Kaboom now, because originally it was just like one of the default fonts in bold. And then I went back, and this is one of the upgrades that I'm doing to the new one. Yeah, and that's what, I'm constantly learning. You know what I mean? And not giving up. Because release is going to come out. Release is going to be incredible. But this is where I started having fun with it. Was this particular Kaboom. Because I bought some... John told me about... What was the website called? If you Google comic book fonts, you'll find it probably. But there's a website that... it'll offer you packages and stuff, but then if you're an independent comic book creator, you can get comic book fonts for free and just download them. And then they're like, okay, well, if you ever get published or whatever and you're still using these fonts, you're going to pay us a licensing fee or whatever. But, so I was able to get... Thank you! But the robot blows up the facility, blows himself in. I need to decide, okay... Is this in Columbus, Ohio, which is like where I live? Am I going to have that sort of like hometown thing going for it? Or am I going to make my own new sort of future city where it's like, okay, like what's the new smart city that they're going to try to build 20 miles north of Columbus? Or, But I need to put that there. But Hayden's activating. And what I'm hoping... is that these two panels convey to the reader that in the future, because I'm going to put 2056 there, you'll have, augmented reality earbuds, So he's projecting different channels that he can tune into. And then the next page, sorry, let me get rid of my notes here. He scrolls over to this podcast that's talking about the fact that we basically invented telekinesis and then lost the technology, but produced these two androids that fly around the planet, solving, basically being superheroes, but, there's not really any super crime to be solved. We don't live in the Powerpuff Girl universe where freaking monsters crawl out of the ocean, so we're not, like, doing that. These guys, for the most part, they're, like, doing cleanup shit. They're getting pollution out of the freaking oceans and stuff like that. But then his AI assistant interrupts the conversation. But the lettering, anyway, here, it does not offend your eyes, I feel like, when you're reading it. And I feel like it's just big enough where if you pull it up on a cell phone, you're going to be able to read it comfortably. But when I do like a printed edition, remastered it, I'll make smaller word bubbles and do more with the backgrounds and have like double page spreads and stuff like that. Because I can't do that with keeping the cell phone in mind. But yeah, I gotta get better at backgrounds. Like, what is behind them in this podcast? Like, I started giving him a bookshelf here. I'm like, I don't want to draw a bookshelf. Does he have a bookshelf? I guess I'll give him a bookshelf. I need to design a sign for his show. I was gonna call it the like Joe Hogan show or Jack Hogan, as like a play on Joe Rogan. And I was like, is this a real person or is this an AI host? Maybe I'll have that's something I can decide maybe by the 3rd issue or something. See, do people still read books in the future? And this is something that it's like, okay, so it was kind of like an art school critique when John looked through, and I love, because I know he does these like Destroyer of Dreams streams where he looks over your artwork and gives constructive but blunt criticisms. But anyway, he's like, why is there no background? And I told him my dilemma. I'm like, 30 years from now, do people have things, or is it like, because I envision so much of their interaction with the world is through the technology that it's almost like a commentary on our dependence on technology, like the fact that he would have like a barren apartment. You know what I mean? But then he brought up the fact that it's like, but people want to see interesting shit. You know what I mean? And also, if you give somebody a collectible or something, like, people are always going to want to have things. So this guy being a podcast host, he would want to project an air of sophistication, of intellectualism, which would, he might have a bookshelf. He might have some thick, stupidly thick-looking books back there. So I'm going to give him that. I gave Hayden a living room that made sense to me. His TV is just a big square on the wall because are we going to have TVs, really? He has a display case with various, so this is like my derivative Star Wars property that I'm going to inject in my series. This is my derivative, Kamen Rider-esque property that I'm going to, stick into the series and that sort of stuff. I was trying to cut, this poster was kind of coming together, and I'm kind of envisioning sort of this video game being like, maybe you're like a specter who, okay, humanity's gone, and the world is inhabited by these, or maybe there's pockets of humanity that still exist. We're in like a scenario where it's like The Walking Dead, but with like demons or something, right? And then the main character, the hero that you're playing in this video game, he can like maybe walk through walls. He's like a ghost of some kind, maybe either through technology or something that happened on the other side after he died. He was able to come back and manifest through this like helmet and this gun. Anyway, I'm like working it out. It could be cool, but I just needed a freaking poster behind him. Because why wouldn't he's put something on the wall? You know what I mean? Hope I'm not being too loud. It's freaking 3 a.m. Got babies upstairs. Anywho. Thanks for coming around, man. Yeah. I'll keep you updated. Stay tuned. How long have I been going? Speaking of. How can I even tell? Oh, it's about 48 minutes. do feel like I should loosen up his collar. Whatever. I feel like this is good for now. I'm getting back in the swing of things. It was great having genuine comics around. And yeah, man, I look forward to release to the world. I hope it's a great big release. I hope everyone is satisfied. I think, I can stop hacking away at her face. That's an achievement for the night. And I think her head is proportional to her body, which, it's nice to see in your artwork.